withdrawal.com. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us, God.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Four Persons, the only Catholic show on Blog Talk Radio. And we're going to do just a quick little show here on, we're kind of addressing, it's not a secret that, hold on a second. It's not a secret that Joe Biden had a horrendous showing in the recent debate. I don't think Trump did all that well either, to be perfectly honest with you. But, obviously he looked better by comparison. As far as where Catholics should be or where Christians should be, neither one of these guys are worthy of the office of presidency. I'm sorry to say that, but the things that I said back in 2016 have bore themselves out. Trump is a poser. He's a pretender. Now, does he have the right economic policies? Yes. Is he right about oil and energy independence? Yes. More right than Biden on foreign affairs, although I think that he's wrong on a lot of things about foreign affairs. But bottom line is he a moral Christian man that Catholics should be upholding as an example and saying, this is what a Christian looks like? No, he's absolutely not that person. Anyone who's celebrating Trump, waving flags and doing all this other crazy nonsense, celebrating Trump as some kind of hero, you're engaging in idolatry. You need to put your Catholic faith first. Now, reasonable people will come to the conclusion that if the choice is between Trump and Biden, they'll go with Trump. A lot of people will make that judgment. That doesn't mean he's a pillar of all good. And, a lot of people get caught up in his star status and everything. Anyway, enough of my soapbox rant there. I'm going to talk about the current state of the race and why I believe that, why I no longer believe that it's possible that that Biden is going to be replaced on the ticket. First of all, this is a realistic look at where we stand now. A lot of the states that are described as battleground states really aren't battleground states anymore. Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, those are three states that are pretty safely in Trump's column. Barring something really dramatically unexpected, Trump's going to win those states. The states that are really, truly battlegrounds now, that are true toss-ups, and even a couple of these are starting to move out of that territory. But the states that can still be at least considered to be toss-ups are Virginia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Arizona, and Nevada. And I would argue that Virginia might be the most significant of all of them. And I'll tell you why. Because Virginia is going to be one of the first states that reports. In fact, in 2020, Virginia was literally the first state that was called for Joe Biden. That's true. The first state that was called for Joe Biden was Virginia. And 3 straight polls have shown Virginia now tied. If that is remotely close to accurate, then Biden is in serious trouble. And that's where we issue our starting point. The Democrats realize that Biden is in trouble. Because look at this. I just want you to look at this. If we flip Virginia to Trump, and again, Virginia will be one of the earliest states where the polls close. It could be called relatively early. Might not be called immediately, but it could be called relatively early. So if we haven't really gotten off the East Coast and Virginia is called for Trump, or Virginia looks like it might be called for Trump, and early panic is going to set in for Democrats because they know that's going to make for a short night for them. And here's why. Okay. Look at these remaining 6 states and then look at the math. If Virginia goes for Trump, that puts him at 264. 264. That is 6 electoral votes shy of 270. Now, Trump can actually win this election with 269. Biden needs 270. But that's a point for another day. But I want you to look at this. 264 is only 6 electoral votes away from 270. Each one of these states has at least 6 electoral votes. Nevada has 6, Arizona 11, Minnesota and Wisconsin each have 10, Michigan 15, Pennsylvania 19. That means if Trump flips Virginia, Biden has to run the table. He has to run the table. Biden has to win all 6 of these states. And if he wins all 6, he ekes out a 274 to 264 victory in the Electoral College. Flip one of them, even one of them, back to Trump. We'll go with the smallest one, Nevada. And look at this. Trump wins the election. So I'm going to be honest with you. I think there is going to be a sweep in these states in the other direction. I think Trump is going to win all of these states. And I think the Democrats know that too. I think 335, 203, that's what we're looking at on election night. I think the Democrats know that too. And that's why I want to address this point that has come up about Biden would be replaced on the ticket. Now, is it possible? Yeah, I suppose it's possible. But do I believe it will happen? No, I do not. And here's why. Democrats are smart at playing the long game. They know how to look at the big picture. Okay? And Republicans, not so much. And Democrats realize that with the economy where it is, with the border where it is, with the dissatisfaction of the American people on inflation, on immigration, on what's going on in the world, the way the world is basically on fire right now, Democrats realize the American people want change. And the American people are not just putting this at the foot of Biden, but they're putting this at the foot of his party. And I think we've gotten to the point now where Democrats realize that they're going to lose this election. And they're going to lose this election whether Biden is the nominee or whether it's Kamala Harris or Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama or whoever it is. Democrats realize they're going to lose this election. And so, but you've got an opponent here that's not really well liked by the American people for the most part. And this election is not being driven by how much people love Trump, but by how much they despise Biden. Well, after this election, if Trump were to win this election, and I believe he's going to, Biden's gone. We are in a country right now, we are in an economy that's headed for recession. You can't have inflation at the levels that we've had it at right now, skyrocketing fuel prices, skyrocketing grocery prices, and not have this country not go into recession. And what Democrats are going to do, what they're going to do, and I'm saying this from experience because I've seen it before. I've seen it happen before. With the case of George Bush Sr. was an example. What the Democrats are going to do is they're going to go ahead and punt on this election, realizing that Trump is going to be the president for the next 4 years, but then Trump becomes their target now. And Trump is not a miracle worker. He's not going to be able to turn things around overnight. This country is going to go through hard times that were created by the current administration. Yeah. But the blame is going to shift. And Democrats are counting on their ability to then focus the blame on Trump so that in 2028, they can regroup, raise up a star, somebody who's young and photogenic and charismatic, who will come back and reclaim the mantle for them in 2028. I'm not claiming I know who that person is. It's not going to be Joe Biden. It's not going to be Hillary Clinton. My guess is not going to be Gavin Newsom. I don't know who it's going to be. The point is, I believe Democrats have decided to punt because they know it is a toxic year for Democrats. It's a toxic year. The American people are not going to elect a Democratic president this year. That's just a fact. There's always the possibility Democrats will cheat, but I think the margins are such that they're not going to be able to even cheat their way into the White House over the next 4 years. So I think they're going to punt. They're going to concede this one and play the long game and look at 2028. And the 2028 campaign will begin the day after the election. And anyway, that's my 2 cents. That's what I believe is going to happen. And thank you for tuning in.